Hey y'all, it's Salvo here. I'm not really sure how to start this one, other than just to say that I lost another friend. Last night, two of the guys that I ride with got into a pretty bad wreck. One of them was able to walk away from it, and fortunately another one was not. I just kind of want to take you guys along on the process, because it's still very fresh. Not even sure why I'm recording this, honestly, but when I lost my other buddy 2 weeks ago, the recording the process kind of helped. So I'm hoping it does this time as well. And maybe if somebody gets something out of this, then maybe it's worth posting. Either way, we should go ahead and get on with it. So without further ado, let's hop on the girl here. So my homies that wrecked, they were super welcoming, just super friendly to me as a new guy, and welcomed me with open arms. You know, that I really appreciated that. Saw them at NC Ride Out. I've been riding with them on the weekends and stuff, and losing one of them so quickly just really sucks, man. It just really sucks. It sucks either way. But yeah, like I was saying, I mean, these guys were super welcoming, super nice to me. First time I ever rode with them, they all were like super chill and talking about when the next time we're gonna ride is, you know, talking about adding me to group chats and stuff like that, man. Getting guys' numbers, everyone was super friendly, and man, it's just a really good group of guys, you know? Just sucks, man. Sucks. You lose people way too early. You don't know what to do about it, you know? How much can I help as somebody who's newer to this friend group? How much can I help them? You know, the guys who lost a friend, right? One of them passed, the other one's hurt pretty badly. The guy who passed had his girl on the back with him. She's messed up too. She survived, thankfully, but she's messed up too. Another one of my friends who was there, he was performing CPR on the guy who was deceased. And I mean, I can't even imagine what that's doing to him, because he was riding with them. And it's always hard when somebody you're riding with passes. You know, you start asking questions that you shouldn't be asking, blaming yourself for stuff that you shouldn't blame yourself for. And then to be there and, you know, he did CPR and he saw everything. And I can't imagine. I've been in similar situations when I've lost friends, but that doesn't make it any easier, man. I can't imagine what he's going through with that. So that's the state of the friend group that I've been riding with lately, you know. And obviously everyone else is tore up about it. That's the status of the boys that ride. All kinds of messed up, mentally, physically. It just depends on whether they were there or not, and whether they wrecked or not. But nobody's doing good, and completely understandably. And the biggest thing I've been thinking is, how can I be a better friend to these guys? You know, they stepped up when it came to meeting me and welcoming me into the group. You know, they did above and beyond friendliness, above and beyond welcoming, above and beyond kindness. You know, how can I return that kindness given the circumstances, you know? Maybe that's a way that I can provide some value to them. And I don't even like saying it like that, because I know that's not how relationships are. But they were there for me when I didn't have people, and maybe I can be there for them when they're going through losing people. That's my hope, at least. Man, all the red lights, huh? So for the guy that passed away, one of the things that him and I actually bonded on a lot was our obsessions with the Honda Fireblade SP. him and I both agree that Honda Fireblade SP is the top tier leader bike you can get. And we won't hear no trash talk. I won't read no spec sheets. Don't care. That was something that him and I always bonded about, man. We don't give a crap what anyone else says. I don't want your Ducati V4. I don't want your Ninja H2, man. Fireblade SP on top, right? Him and I always bonded about that being the best leader bike in both of our dream bikes, man. And it still is, man. It still is the dream bike. The last time I spoke with him, we were talking about the Fireblade SPs again, of course. We mentioned both of them being our dream bikes and how, one day once we get our money up, that we'll ride them together, man. We'll both be cruising down the highway in Fireblade SPs. And now that's never gonna happen. My buddy who was there, who called me to tell me that this all happened, he said something that anyone who's lost a friend doing this hobby could tell you they've heard before, which is, the friend wouldn't want us to stop riding. He would want us to ride for him, right? He won't be able to get that Fireblade, and we won't be able to ride the Fireblades together, but now I know I'm getting that Fireblade. It's not just a guess or a wouldn't it be cool if, or maybe one day it's none of that anymore. I'm getting the Fireblade. I don't care what it takes. I don't care what sacrifices I have to make. I'm gonna get that Fireblade SP, and I'm gonna ride it, cruise it down the highway for my buddy. I'm gonna do it for him because it's what he would want. And that kind of brings me to something I was thinking about after I heard about everything that happened. And I was in the middle of a long drive, so unfortunately I had a lot of time to think about it, which is probably not best to be alone in your thoughts when you hear something like that. But yeah, that's just a situation I found myself in. But one thing that I thought about was, why do we keep doing this? Why do we keep doing this? As motorcyclists, why do we keep doing this? Why do we keep riding, despite everything, despite the dangers, despite losing friends? Why do we keep doing this, man? Putting ourselves in danger and potentially jacking ourselves up for what, man? For what? Just to ride these cool little engines between our legs? But something you hear every time somebody gets into a bad wreck and passes away, there's always the idea that they wouldn't want us to stop riding. We literally watched our friend die, but he wouldn't want us to stop riding. And I know I'm kind of playing devil's advocate when I say it like that, but I think we all know it's true, I don't think anyone's questioning that. And the thing is, the fact of the matter is, whether or not our friend would want, fill in the blank, whatever, we still keep doing it, right? We still keep riding despite everything. Despite everything that happens and despite everything that could happen, we still keep riding. And, guys will say oh, I'm selling my bike. Some guys will say, I'm selling my bike, or I'm downgrading my bike, or I'm not going to ride ever again. Guys will say that for sure after one of their buddies passes. And that's totally understandable. And if they do sell it, I don't blame them at all. Don't hold it against them at all. But more often than not, they say that and then they keep riding. And that just kind of shows how deep in we are to this. You know what I mean? We literally can't help ourselves. Even when we think it's the best answer for us, even when we think it's the logical, rational decision is, my friend just passed away, I need to sell my bike. Or, something along those lines. Even if we know in our heart of hearts that that's the right answer and that's the logical answer, we keep riding. Why is that, man? I think it shows that what we do as riding is so much bigger than a hobby. It's so much bigger than a sport. So much bigger than all of that. And it's so much bigger than us as individuals. Because otherwise, we would just stop. We would just stop putting ourselves in danger and losing friends and family members to this. We would just stop that. I don't know. That just shows me it's bigger than all of us, man. And what we feel for this hobby, what we feel for this sport, whatever you want to call it, it's a feeling that's bigger than ourselves, and it's bigger than what we know might be the logical answer. And I don't know, a small part of me makes me think that that's love, man. You know, unconditional love is doing something that you know is not a good idea or know is probably not the best answer for you, and you do it anyways. And you do it anyways because you love it so much, and you can't help it. You couldn't imagine life without it, man. And I really think that's what motorcycling is for guys like us. All right, enough ranting here. I think that might have been the intersection I need to check out. Okay, so that actually wasn't the roundabout, which makes sense because it didn't look very damaged. So it's the next roundabout. So I guess it's relevant to what I'm doing here, but yeah, basically my guys were going way faster than they should have been, and they didn't know a roundabout was there in the middle of the road. They both smacked it. I mean, you can see it's up there where that car is. Yeah, they obviously didn't see it, and they hit it. Oh, dude. Oh, man. You can see stuff there. I wonder if these guys are doing the same thing I was. I kind of want to ask them, but you know what? I should probably just be by myself. I'd feel better about it anyways. So yeah, homeboys were going way too fast. They hit that roundabout. Yeah, apparently they flew pretty far after they hit it. I figure I'd come down here, try and see what closure I can find from taking a look. So yeah, that roundabout way down there, that's what they hit. They saw a lawn straightaway and they thought they could gun it, and they went right over the roundabout. And this, where the road changes color, is where they landed. So you can see that's a pretty far distance, and you can imagine how bad it was. I don't know what I'm looking for here. I'm not an investigator or anything. I just am a friend looking for some closure, man. And people probably think I'm a crackhead walking in the street like this, but I really don't care how they feel about it. Good Lord, these are pieces of their bikes, man. All the way over here. Still pieces of the bike all the way over here. Which means the bikes flew too, not just them. What's up, man? Yeah, I'm all good. I had a couple buddies wreck here last night.
Oh, okay. You were looking for something or something?
I'm just kind of getting some closure, man. You know. But I appreciate you stopping.
Yeah, I seen you. I'm like, shit, where's this bike?
Yeah, it's right over there.
Okay, I
Yeah.
didn't see it. Okay, I didn't see
Yeah, no, I appreciate you, big dog. Thanks, man. Have a safe ride, all right? What is that ambulance for? I'll probably go get the bike and bring it over here just so some crackhead doesn't mess with it. I hope whoever that is all right, man. God, this sucks. Why is it always the good ones, man? I honestly don't know what I'm doing here. He asked me, and man, if I know what I'm doing here, honestly. He definitely gave me some closure when I went to go check on his spot where he passed. Definitely brought me some closure, and I felt some relief when I found a piece of his motorcycle. I looked into it. That bolt that I found, it was part of his bike. It matches 1-for-1 with the Yamaha R6. So yeah, it's something small, but when I found it, man, and I confirmed it was part of his bike, I don't know. It made me feel like I had a part of him, you know? Like, as long as I had that, the stupid little bolt thing for whatever it's worth, as long as I had that, like, I had part of him with me. But now, here, at another site, not even a week later, at another site where I lost a friend, and I'm picking up pieces, it's really making me question if I should be here. And how many more friends am I going to lose? How many more places am I going to have to visit where somebody died and walk around picking up trash off the ground to try and feel, I don't know, closure, some kind of connection, or what, man? I don't know. I'm here, so I'm gonna make the most of it, I guess. I guess I'll just kind of pull into the center median there. I think this is as good as it's gonna get right here. Yeah, that works. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is the right answer. Lost so many guys in such a short amount of time, man. It's kind of ridiculous, honestly. Fuck, dude. Yeah, no question about what happened here, man. Good grief. So this double tire here, this was probably the ambulance, because the ambulances are dualies. Probably the ambulance whipping across to get them out of here, I'd imagine. Wonder if there's marks where their motorcycles went over. I wonder if the poles were cut off before or after. I wonder if they hit the poles, man. I really hope not. That's brutal. Brutal to think about. They would have been in the right lane, even if they were zooming. It's just blowing my mind that they ran over this thing. I mean, we all come down here all the time. They should know that the roundabout is there. Man, they should have known. You know, something that I keep thinking about is, it's common to think about this when you lose somebody, but what if I was there? You know, could I have done more, right? If I was there, would I have been in the front? Would I have seen the roundabout and slowed down? Or shit, would I have just gone right over it with them? You know, with the training I've got, maybe I could have given them some medical aid that might have helped, but we ask these questions and we tell ourselves these things, but I think we know the answer is there's nothing you could have done, man. And even if there was, thinking about that, it's just going to make you lose your mind. So you can't be thinking about those kinds of things, man. But it's hard. It's hard not to. Yeah, it's just one of those things, like, you keep asking yourself, could I have done more, right? What could I have done if I had been there? Could I have maybe taken that burden off of my friend who was there doing CPR on his deceased friend? Or could I have prevented it from happening in the first place? It's normal to ask questions like that. You weren't there. And I really should have been there. Like, I was planning on being there last night, but my bike's been having issues and I have a final exam here in a couple days. So I decided it's better just that I stay in and study. My tire wasn't giving me issues. I would have literally been there last night. And I don't know if that would have been a good thing or a bad thing, but it definitely doesn't help with me trying to ask questions of, like, what if I had been there? Could I have done more? Could I have been a better friend? So. Yeah, I'm all good, brother. I appreciate it. Yeah, everything's good. I had a friend pass away here last night, so I'm just kind of hanging out. No, I appreciate you stopping though, man. All right, have a safe night. Pretty sure he rides, and he just wanted to make sure I was good. That's legit. There's a lot of dudes who ride around here. That's pretty legit of them to be checking on a homie. But I think that's all I'm gonna say for now on this. Yeah, I'm gonna take a few minutes here by myself just to kind of be alone with the homie. But I'll check back in with you guys soon. Well, guys, I realized too late that I was recording all of that in the wrong settings. But hopefully what I was saying, what you guys heard me talk about, was more important than seeing the ride over here. But you guys should be able to see now. But all right, guys, I took a moment to myself here. Feeling a little bit better. Well, I'd like to think we got some closure from that. It was good. It was good to kind of be alone here for a little bit. I'm gonna go see if those bikes are still there. Maybe some homies are out and about. I did see a big group leaving here as I pulled up. And I have a sneaking suspicion they were doing the same thing I was doing, just kind of finding some closure, but doing it as a group. Which you could argue is probably where I should have been, but I don't know. Sometimes I feel like it's better just to process this on my own. I don't know if it's something to do with my previous job or just my flaws as a human, but I am very bad about receiving sympathy. I can't stand it. I don't know why. Anytime someone says, I'm so sorry that happened to you or to somebody you know, or it's, fill in the blanks, for me, it's always like embarrassing. Not embarrassing, but like almost embarrassing. Or it's like, I just want it to end and I want to get away. I don't want to receive sympathy from anybody. I don't know. It's one of my flaws, I guess. I don't know where it comes from. One of my many issues. Sometimes it's better just to do these things alone for me, I think. Because of that. Not that there's anything wrong with doing it as a group. That might be them right there, actually. What's up, y'all? All right, so as expected, they ended up being chill. So we are going for a quick little ride here with new homies. I never saw whose bikes those were. I honestly have no idea. Happy just to be riding, honestly. I know I got school or whatever in the morning and I got a final exam, but honestly, like, stuff like this is way more important. Good people. That's the thing I love about the motorcycle community, man. No matter how bad of a day you're having, you get up with some homies, go and ride some bikes. It's a good day. There he is. I was waiting for that for a while. I don't know what's up with that. All right, let's send it now. Nobody behind us. Cruising, baby. Short little highway pull there at the end, man. What a great way to end it. Oh, you know, hey, overall, I'm very glad I went to go check out the accident site tonight. I gotta say, I'm really glad that we did that. It was very tough, especially considering the night after, everything's so fresh, but it was actually really good riding with those folks. They're good people. Hopefully I see them out there again soon. It's really crazy losing 2 friends in 2 weeks. You know, it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about, like, you know, why do we keep doing it? At least for me, maybe hopefully for some of y'all, I tried to answer that question. It's just because there's something about it that we love so much we could never give it up, man. And when we love something so much that we can never stop doing it, no matter how hard we try or how much we think we should or shouldn't, like if it's with a drug or like some kind of video game, they call it addiction. But then, you know, when it's a person or an animal that you really care about, you say you love those, right? And you can never give them up. And some people have people that are bad for them, that they stick around and that they love, right? They stick around them because they love them. And so you could make the same argument that, well, it's not addiction, it's love, but it's like, really, what's the difference, man? And then I'll say the same thing for motorcycles, man. What's the difference between addiction and love? I really don't know. Maybe some of y'all can help me with that. Either way, hopefully you guys got something out of this one. Kind of had this same thought when I was talking about the last time. If a video like this has one person that can relate to it and one person that it can help, maybe he's going through a similar thing or went through something similar recently, then I'd like to think that makes it worth posting. Either way, guys, really appreciate y'all being with me through this. It means a lot. I'm actually going to stop for this. This is important. Make sure y'all contact the people you love and the people you ride with. Make sure you tell them that you're thinking about them and that they should be here and that you want them to be here. Because that's honestly something that doesn't get said enough nowadays. I lost 2 friends in 2 weeks, and both of them, when I said bye to them, I made sure to tell them, you know, to ride safe and that they're good friends and all that. And I can be guilt-free in that it was all positive, it was all love when last time I talked to them. And I'm grateful for that. Unfortunately, sometimes, you know, we get in fights with people and then we don't see them again. And that's the last thing we ever say to them is something terrible, like, I hate you, or I don't want you in my life, or, you know, other expletives. And then we never get to a chance to say we're sorry, or we never get a chance to forgive them because they die. So make sure that no matter what, you don't let the sun set on your anger. Even when somebody's wronged you, it's totally fine to be upset with them. It makes sense. It's human, right? I'm not saying be above that. I'm not above that. But make sure you leave things on good terms, because you never know when you're going to see that person again. I appreciate y'all sticking with me. Y'all ride safe. Tell the people you care about you love them. Peace.